Preservation of our historic homes is a topic that has been pushed to the back burner of society in favor of the new and glamorous lifestyle of modernization. By allowing our historic buildings and community structures to be demolished in favor of a cheaper, more modern solution, we're allowing our rich history to be erased from the forefront of our minds. Today I'm going to give you 5 reasons that historic preservation is better than the modern alternative of new construction. To begin, historic buildings have intrinsic value. You know the saying, they don't build them like they used to anymore? Well, that comes from somewhere. These historic buildings were built with more care and often with better materials, so they have stronger foundations and bones than houses today. For instance, in our very own Athens, Tennessee, the houses in the historic district off of East Madison Street took upwards of 2 years to complete a piece, which may seem long, but it was because they built them right and put an incredible amount of attention to detail into these homes. Number 2. Historic buildings are reminders of a city's cultural and historical significance. Our very own Old College, built in 1857, was used as a Civil War hospital, and at one point was the original college building that held the entire school. It currently resides on the Historic Register. By being able to see these buildings today, we as citizens are reminded of the aesthetic and cultural history of an era before our own. By doing this, a city can more easily maintain a sense of permanency and heritage. But tearing down these houses takes away opportunities for people to see how those before us lived and erases parts of their history from our minds today. Number 3. Preserving historic buildings is a more efficient use of materials. In the era of green living, historical preservation of buildings should be at the forefront of the cause. This is because it's essentially just large-scale recycling. It's far easier to add new technology that is needed to older buildings than it is to tear down and rebuild a whole new building from scratch. This is also more fiscally responsible by using the resources that we already have to save money. Number 4. Preserving historic buildings adds charm and character to a community. This makes a community unique. It promotes tourism and boosts community morale and pride. For instance, there are dozens of cities out there today that are popular purely because of their historic districts and the charm that it gives to the community. All of these places are popular because of their historic districts and because of the charm that it adds to the community. Lastly, preserving historic buildings can be a good investment for business. In 1961, urban activist Jane Jacobs released The Death and Life of Great American Cities, in which she discussed the economic advantages that certain types of businesses have when located in older buildings. She brought to light the idea that large businesses, such as chain stores, do better in new buildings, while smaller businesses, such as bookstores, ethnic restaurants, antique stores, neighborhood pubs, and especially small startups, thrive in old buildings. This is because of the warmth and uniqueness of historic buildings that give those smaller businesses that niche feel. Finally, preserving our historic buildings is a necessary part of growing old as a community, and it's a duty of us as citizens to enforce this preservation of our history and heritage. I'll leave you all with a quote from Phil Rambanowitz of the Community Toolbox. Historic preservation preserves the historic, architectural, and aesthetic character and heritage of a community or area, and helps to provide a sense of place and continuity.